As the sun rises on China's Ningxia province on the edge of Inner Mongolia, Dr. Sheng Yuan Li embarks on his daily trek. His morning routine consists of a brisk 3-mile walk, yoga, meditation, and a meal featuring wolfberries. Then he will begin examining, diagnosing, and treating patients. This is a day like any other in this part of China, though Dr. Li is 103 years old. The legends of the Chinese wolfberry, or goji as it is called by natives, reach back over 5,000 years. The earliest Chinese medical texts extolled wolfberries for strengthening the eyes, liver, kidneys, bones, and muscles, as well as fortifying the qi, or life force. An early medical work, Shen Nung Ben Sao, noted wolfberry benefits ranging from replenishing vital essences to strengthening and restoring major organs. The amazing vitality of the elderly in the Ningxia province has long been attributed to the wolfberry. It has been a national treasure in China for many centuries, but until recently, it was virtually unknown to Western civilization.
In 1982, there was the beginning of desire on the part of China to develop international relationships, particularly in technology and products.
China, that country is a long history country. Because of the history reason and their politics reason and the language reason, Western people not really know that because the door always closed.
They sent a delegation from the Chinese Association for Science and Technology. The leader of that delegation was Professor Zhao.
They started, we would say, cultural exchange, started there. So then they know each other, they are as friends.
At the request of Dr. Chow and the Chinese Association for Science and Technology, a delegation of American scientists led by Dr. Mikkel visited the province of Ningxia. Over the next 10 years, this cultural and scientific exchange continued to develop. And in 1994, the United Nations Environmental Program sponsored a historic international meeting in Beijing to share ideas on the rational use of natural resources.
I could see they really were interested in going someplace with their products, but particularly as they highlighted the growth of the wolfberry. I was visited by the chairman of the State Planning Commission saying, could we arrange for you to take a letter to the state of Utah asking for a state-to-province relationship. I was on the governor's advisory committee on science and technology, so it was an easy thing for me to gain entry to the governor's office. And just as I left the airport in Beijing, China, here is this head of the State Planning Commission with the invitation saying, please deliver, and I said, yes. And then I told him in Chinese, "Xie xie," thank you.
In coordinating the visits of the scientists from the Ningxia province, Dr. Mikkel arranged a meeting with one of Utah's prominent leaders in the wellness industry, Gary Young. Gary's company, Young Living Essential Oils, had already demonstrated its deep interest in unique natural health products with its pioneering role in the world of aromatherapy.
Gary is very interested. His vision is about international, try to find some source can bring health things into United States. He already has this kind of vision. So when he met people, like my father, he will bring the topic on the table, say, well, Professor Zhao, can you tell me what is the herb or any healthy food you thought is very good? So my father immediately say wolfberry.
He was a very gentle, very personable person, and yet you could see the deep wisdom, behind his eyes. He started to ask questions about the essential oils, and of course, I was equally excited to ask him questions about this strange wolfberry that Professor McKell had shared with me a few months earlier. And as he shared the research and the history and the science behind the wolfberry, it was so phenomenal.
We had the delegation from China for dinner at Gary's house. It was exciting to see people with vision talking and what could happen. People of Ningxia wanting to do something for their country, and then Gary having the ideas of taking it someplace and drawing upon that great tradition.
Gary's passion to understand the science and culture behind this ancient health treasure led him to China, where he could experience firsthand the wolfberry plantations, processing facilities, as well as universities and medical centers involved in modern research.
I was really involved with people who really felt the value and the mission and the purpose behind this product that I was going there to study and look at. We traveled to various different cities in the province of Ningxia, visiting the old people. And this is when my heart really got to pounding. Seeing here is a culture, a race of people that know not the concern of old age, that they just live every day for whatever they get out of it, but to still have the vision and the desire to live and be alive and to be productive in their culture and in their society. I had the opportunity to sit and have dinner with a little lady that's 121 years old, and she was working out in her garden. It was so beautiful to see this little lady. You know, she put the hoe down when her daughter went over and got her, and she walked over, and I was invited to come in the house with the professors and Sue that were traveling with me. And just being a gentleman, I reached down to take her arm and walk her up the steps into her home. And the daughter, who was 98, she slapped my hand. And she chattered to me in Chinese, and I didn't understand. And so Sue translated and said, "Gary," she said, "no thank you, that Mother is quite capable of walking up the stairs all by herself." Oh yeah, and look at all the wolfberries. Sue and I were sitting in the back of the taxi, and the two professors, her father's students, were sitting in the front of the taxi. And as we were driving, Sue made a comment of how it was very interesting to her how we all came together. And she's sharing this with me, that I was the first person her father had given that research to outside of his very own colleagues at the university in Beijing. It was an interesting feeling, an emotion that came in all of us, because we could feel that there was a connection there. And Sue expressed, you know, she says, "I feel there's got to be a higher power that has orchestrated and brought all this together from two continents on opposite sides of the world."
Sometimes something, you know, by philosophically, you cannot explain, but it's happened.
The doorway to discovery of this ancient Chinese secret of health and longevity had been opened. Gary envisioned a wide variety of products using premium wolfberries. In 1996, Young Living became the first large-scale importer of the wolfberry into the United States.
Because Gary knows that Ningxia is a hometown of the wolfberry, so he want to only buy the wolfberry from Ningxia. You can check the export record. Only Young Living buying big amount.
Kuehne + Nagel, we're a worldwide shipping organization. We deal with air freight, ocean freight, and worldwide customs brokerage all over the world. We have 19,000 employees worldwide. We're in 96 countries. I first got involved with Young Living in 1994 when they were bringing in the essential oils and clearing them through customs. So after the first couple of small wolfberry shipments, Young Living brought in the wolfberry powder, and FDA wanted to inspect it. So Sue Chow of Young Living and myself went out to the 20-foot container. The reason they were checking the wolfberry powder is because, to my knowledge, they hadn't seen this product before in the United States.
Gary's crusade to bring the power of the wolfberry to Western culture would draw on inspiration from the ancients and take advantage of the